Alright, we're back with week 6 of season 23 Cosmic Crucible round 1. Pretty spicy bracket this time around. I think there's 4 diamond Annihiluses, Annihili, whatever the plural is there, so that's always a challenge in itself to like clear that efficiently. Also today I'm up against Where's My Comp, which I think is Beta Ray Bill, and just so you can understand what the problem is, almost 1 billion TCP. So trying to take on his teams is pretty challenging because some counters can fail just due to size, so definitely a limit test for me today. And as you can see, I kind of dropped 3 attacks today, and we'll go over those. So room 1 is Immortal Weapon with Annihilus, 4-diamond Annihilus, so that's problematic. This comp is also getting popular now because it's surprisingly tricky to clean up, so you can't really cheap out here, so it kind of frees up some other tools for you on defense at least, and maybe offense. Then we have Professor X with Symbiote 6. Then we have Exalted with Quasar, Phoenix Force with Black Cat and Minerva, New Mutants with Mephisto, and then finally Blue Marvel, Emma X, Howard, Executioner, and Gilgamesh. So yeah, as you can see, some pretty crazy diamonds and G21 all over the place, so, you know, some things that normally would work may not work, as we'll find out. But at least that, you know, that limit tests what counters scale well. But yeah, with that out of the way, let's see exactly what happened. So, stage 1. Now, obviously you're going to do an IMX sack first. I'm not going to show the sack itself, but with this setup, I basically just paused immediately. So on Storm's turn, even before she had taken her turn, because I didn't even know if she could survive the ping, I just paused, because I just didn't want Annihilus taking a single turn to give myself as much time as possible. Now, unfortunately, the problem with the 4-diamond Annihilus and above is that there's a lot of RNG with how much damage he can take, and if you push him in time or not, and as you can probably guess, I did not. So the reason why Immortal is actually good here is because they stop speed stat, which, I mean, Annihilus already does that actually, but Lady Bullseye has baked in anti-crit, which is very, very good for minimizing damage. So, you know, if this character has 3 Immortal Weapon allies, reduce the crit chance by 100%. So yeah, that means just overall this guy will just take less damage from any raiders you have. So I did leave, I think I did 2 raiders to, let's see, Striker, yes, no, let's go this way. So Striker, Raider, Skirmisher, which is good, Raider, Striker. So yeah, 2 Raiders, 2 Strikers, 1 Skirmisher. Those 2 Raiders are technically doing a little bit less damage, but they have a chance to proc, you know, a Raider hit anyway. But nothing is technically stopping vulnerables either here. So the hope is, you know, you're just going to hit him enough and break Rod before he ultimates your face-off. So, but otherwise this plays out as you'd expect, and from what I've understood, basically, a lot of the RNG with how quickly this guy gets to go for his turn where he blows your face off is, did you incidentally kill enough of these guys along the way? Because the more of these that take a turn, the faster he gets to go. So he takes 1 turn, does nothing. Then Lady Bullseye goes. That's fine. Lost the coin flip with Eclipse, but it doesn't really matter. Now, see the fact. So that there, that's 15% speed bar for Annihilus. So that in itself, you know, is a problem. But I don't think he can ever die from Eclipse's special because he's got too much health. Like, he could die if it's a smaller one and you kill the death proof and then you get a Raider proc, then he might die and you get a little bit of leeway. But that didn't happen. Thrasher goes, decays everything, kills the little guy, but it's a little too late for that. Another one just pops up and they always have death proof, which is annoying. Then Daredevil, you know, I didn't get any vulnerables here from Thrasher, so I just figured I'll just kill Lady Bullseye because that should then open up crits for me, which is good. So I do actually kill her very quickly. And you know, the rest of the team is just kind of just dying passively. Still no vulnerable here, which makes sense. So I figured, you know, I'll just kill this guy then, because he does have a vulnerable, so I'll just hit here. So this guy is now also dead. So, you know, so far so good. Problem is though, 4 diamond, it's just too big. So another basic here, sure, whatever. I mean, you know, I'm slowly dying along the way. Now, I do a Jessica Jones ultimate on him because she's a skirmisher, because I want to guarantee I have 2 vulnerables to hit into for this next rotation, because usually you break the rod here, if not earlier. Now, Iron Fist goes, but at this point, it's kind of irrelevant. He's blinded, you've taken away his charges, so whatever. Then here, another 15% speed bar for this guy, unfortunately. So, you know, there's a lot of RNG basically with, did this guy spawn next to where you're about to hit so that you're passively killing them, or are you accumulating them? So here, another 15%. Actually, oh no, that was a basic, so that one doesn't matter. Now he gets to go, but he's blinded, who cares? Another basic, but as you can see, like, he's taking a lot of turns. So at this point, he is, how close is he? Bum, bum, bum. I've got 2 turns basically before I'm screwed. So now I really have to push him as fast as possible. So we do this, wipe the field, but he just spawned a bunch more. Now we do this. Didn't get any bleeds on him with the special though, actually. Not that it matters, I guess, because he's going to move them off, but I thought Thrasher... Oops, that's not Thrasher. I thought Thrasher special gave bleeds out. Yeah. Huh. I wonder what happened to those. Doesn't seem to have applied to anything. It's a little weird. I don't think he's immune for some reason. But anyway, that wouldn't have mattered because those bleeds would have left anyway. Now I do the Daredevil's basic because that's going to be the most damage, and then you know I got a 5 diamond speedball from the leaderboard. This is where he needs to get pushed or you're screwed. And boop. How close is he? Wah wah, 3%, which is, you know, 2.5 million, but, you know, this is a few crits along the way, maybe. It's, like, there's not much I can do about this. It's just, if I pushed him, cool. If not, I just lose. I could maybe make Jessica Jones G21, but I don't know that the damage she would do with her ultimate would really matter, because he's just going to heal it up anyway at that point, so... It's just RNG with how quickly he gets to his turns with these little guys speeding him up, and you know, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, you just have to 3-tap this, which kind of sucks. So at this point, basically, I've already lost because even though he's only basicing, I don't really get to kill him before his ultimate because, again, see, these guys are just propelling him forward a lot. So he starts like lapping me. Yeah, see, so Jessica takes a turn, that also gives him speed bar, so basically I've lost here. So what I did was I did the special, give myself some barrier, but even with offense down at 4 diamond, just obliterates me because they've just lost too much permanent damage. He just hits like a truck even with offense down. So here I paused because he is primed to special, and I did not want him specialing. So I just stopped. So I let this time out because if you let him special here, you cannot clean up with Insidious 6 because he's just going to ultimate turn 1 and you're screwed. I think actually you can ability block him. Actually, no, you'll see. Let's just go straight into that. But anyway, yeah, 4 diamond, just a little bit out of reach just because it relies on a lot of RNG with how much damage you manage to do along the way, and unfortunately just... You know, this is a pretty big Daring Warriors team. Like, you know, maybe if this guy was 5 diamond, then sure, but like it's just too much. So we clean up with Insidious 6 because they can eat a special, because the special can be dodged, and that's what you're relying on here. And this Steel Serpent being alive does nothing. So Superior Spider-Man goes here. You do this, and you ability block Annihilus. So that gives you nothing basically because Vulture gets to go. So if Vulture wasn't going next because someone died, like, okay, let me start this over. Ability block will stick on Annihilus if the next person to take a turn is Annihilus. So if it was Superior Spider-Man into Annihilus, then he would have ability block. But because Steel Serpent died, that gave this guy speed bar. He takes a turn, and now those debuffs get pulled off to the minions. So that's why I'm saying, like, if he had the ultimate primed now, I'm just dead. I lose here. However, I can do this now, and that's fine. But basically, I have these evades up. And since I have these evades, you'll see here, nothing happens. But that does mean I have to kill him before he gets around to his second turn. Luckily, these guys also have evades, mostly, so he's not really healing up. And then we do Hobgoblin Special. I was a little worried that it might chain all the way to the left and then I'd be screwed, but we popped the rod here, which is good, and now we can actually rewind him. So basically we're safe now. So Insidious 6 still generally clean up, but you still have to pay attention to the energy that Annihilus has, because if I had not paid attention, I could have made this unclearable. So you have to make sure that the ultimate is not primed when Insidious comes in, or you lose. If it's just the special and there's not like a pre-taunt or something, or enough characters alive here to prevent you from, just hard focusing Annihilus, you can clean up even if it's 4 diamond. Even if this was a 5 diamond, I think it would have been fine. But, ideally in the future, I don't have to triple tap this, but 4 diamonds, it is what it is. Let's move on. Okay, moving on to another fun attack. And also I forgot to mention, luckily, I pretty significantly changed my defense this week, so I have a lot of different tools at my disposal this week, which means, at least from a content perspective, we get to see some new stuff. So, yeah, one of the main things was this is a nightmare comp that has a lot of RNG, and I hate doing it, but Exalted, kind of walk all over it. It's still size dependent, and I have my Exalted pretty large because of the various breaker scourges, because I really like scourges, so I brought them up. Like I G21 Jubilee for the scourge, and I had Wolverine already because I brought him to Dark Dimension 9 because he's only 2 pieces. So yeah, luckily my Exalted are pretty big. So here, this guy is 5 diamonds, so I just figured I'd ignore him because killing him's going to take 2 weeks. And Exalted aren't exactly known for their high damage output. So I figured I will, ideally I'd want to hit Quicksilver, but he dodges the taunt, so he's only got 1 instead of 2. So I figured Null is the next best threat, because, like I said, this guy's got too much health, this guy's slow as shit, and I don't care. This guy's a problem, especially if he gets to a special. This guy's a problem, but I can attack him, and Professor X I don't care about, because he's just going to be permanently ability blocked. So what we do here is, I just basically go all in on Null. And the fun thing is that you're going to see Quicksilver's rebalance will do a lot of fun things here. Because, I'm killing Null, but the rest of the team is going to be kind of following along the way. So Morph Special on Null, then Storm Ultimate on Null. Quicksilver gets stunned there, which is great. We don't want him doing his ultimate if we can help it. You can see now kind of these guys are getting chipped away. The rebalance, actually... Oh, because he's stunned, I think it didn't happen yet. It's going to happen in a sec, though. Let me see real quick. Abilities, passive. On any turn end, heal self, and then redistribute. So, yeah, I guess it didn't happen because he was stunned. It should start happening after this turn, though. Okay, yeah, you can see like a bunch of stuff happening. Or a lot of numbers, I guess, flying out. And also, yeah, because everyone's got stealth here, the only person that gets hit by a riot is Angel, and that's fine. Now Null goes, which is fine, because when you give Darkness to Exalted, they actually flip that to Safeguard, and that's on Morph. So, cool, now I got Safeguard. Professor X is just going to do a basic, nobody cares. I guess your Angel does need to be big enough to like eat these attacks, but he's fairly healthy. He's got a lot of damage resistance baked into his kit, even if he doesn't heal himself with his passive. Now, again, just continuing to go straight in on Null. Here you're going to see a pretty big rebalance. He also got his passive proc from Riot. Now, unfortunately, this guy has a blind. Where did the blind come from? Oh, I think the mind... Oh, the mind control from Jubilee gives it to him. Interesting. That sucks. But doesn't matter too much. Well, it matters here because one of the assists is going to be there and it misses. But I still want the offense up on everyone to kind of make sure I can kill people. And then we just remove that blind here anyway, so it's not the biggest deal. But you can see here he's barely not dead, and then he kind of gets rebalanced along the way, but now everyone is kind of damaged a bunch. So Quicksilver makes things interesting, and you still can't attack him, by the way, because that taunt is only on spawn, so you're kind of stuck on your target. So still more attacks going in on Angel. You know, Venom did his thing, who cares? Now Wolverine gets to do his ultimate, which hurts a lot, plus with the assist. Still not dead, but at least now he's close. And then Morph ultimate, I was debating if I should target Venom or Null here. However, The ultimate does 350% damage and then 25% damage per positive effect on self and the primary. So, where is Morph? It's this guy. He's got quite a few positive effects at this point. So whoever is hit here is going to get obliterated, and I did not want Quicksilver to take a turn. So instead, you just killed him. If this guy didn't have a death proof, he'd probably be dead too. So yeah, Morph with all these buffs just demolishes, which is pretty cool. But basically, that's all your damage done at this point. So here, I just killed Venom. And then I figured I'll just do this on him, kill Riot along the way. And just cleaning up a solo Professor X is no big deal. So not a very technical fight, I guess, other than just make sure you focus a target and kill it, because if you start spreading your damage out, Exalted X-Men will run out of damage. So don't do that. I generally recommend, you know, kill Null, kill Quicksilver, probably ignore a big Riot because it's going to be a pain in the ass and it's going to take too long. But otherwise, yeah, really safe, decent efficiency. I think this is like a 2019 or something, and you don't have to worry about RNG with like Fantastic Four, and you also have to have Professor X for that. But yes, having this on offense is fairly expensive, but I think it's worth it for now at least. So moving on. So stage 3, this is kind of a dread trap. So if you do full dread here, you might die because the counterattacks that Rhino gives procs all of your dread to retaliate, which gives a bunch of buffs, and then Quasar just goes crazy. And actually, if you're gonna run this, I think you take out Wolverine, because Wolverine prevents assists, and Quasar is mostly gonna go crazy off of the assists. So you'll see because I guess let's just go ahead and show the interaction that I'm talking about, because basically Quasar, when a character with exposed gains a buff, he does a pretty gnarly ping to them. So, whoops, not stats, abilities, Quasar. So, yeah, when an enemy with exposed gains a positive effect, pew pew, steal a bunch of health, reduce speed bar, that part doesn't matter unless, you know, you lose your Scorpion, I guess, or a Dread member. And Storm puts exposed on your entire team, so this affects everyone. So, we're going to see here, Storm does this, that's fine. I also bring Breaker here because you'll see this does still get kind of hairy. So I still like Breaker here because he's an additional tool for rebalancing the team. Let's see, Quasar here does a bunch of damage. Breaker doesn't care though because he shakes it off on his turn. The silence here is unfortunate because we can't remove the taunt, but anyway, we do this. They seem to have resisted the unstable anomaly because nobody got one here, so I didn't realize that could be resisted. But I guess, yeah, with boost being where it is right now, depending on what have they done here? Nope, that's me. So you can kind of see this is terror, so my terror stats are fairly low. And what have they done? So Storm, wow, yeah, so Storm has like quite a lot of focus resistance. So yeah, this person's decided to pump a lot into fear, I think it is. That's health. Yeah, they put a lot into armor, a decent amount into, and then kind of spread it out, not a lot into health. So yeah, I'm getting resist checked basically, which kind of sucks until I can focus more there. But anyway, we do the Breaker special onto Angel. This is a 5 diamond Breaker because I put a lot of time into the Scourge. So he's going to basic on his first turn and drop the Vitality, which is great. But I still want to kill this guy first, because you saw a bunch of pings go out now, which will also trigger with vulnerables. So I do this because I just really want to kill this guy, and now he has 2 vulnerables. Oh, they fixed the bug. So even though Vitality is up, okay, yeah, so Angel had a bug. This is good, actually. Angel used to have a bug. Come on, Angel. Come on. So his passive, this character, Null, Exalted, X-Men, allies cannot gain bleed, trauma, heal back, or vulnerable. This was applying to everyone, allies and enemies. So that was kind of propping up Exalted Annihilus quite a bit, because Annihilus was not getting vulnerables until like at least 1 turn after Angel had gone, so it was just less time to push him. But you know, now it's working correctly for non-Exalted, which is great, and as you can see, I also have a bunch of vulnerables on myself. Now, Morph finally gets to go, but he's gonna go into my Scorpion. I don't really care, he's never gonna die. Then I do Electro Special. Pew pew pew! Pew! He's almost dead, and we kill him. So now, I'm never gonna lose this basically at this point. So at this point, we're just, we're still gonna eat a lot of damage, because, like, Bullseye's, his health pool is really low. Like, he's like an old stack character at G21. It's kind of crazy. So, from an efficiency perspective, because this is a pretty big team and they have a lot of armor, they're taking a while to kill. So, you can see here, like, this Bullseye barely survived. But let's see, am I gonna get unstable? Yes, I did. Okay, I got one here. So yeah, at this point, it's just cleanup and a matter of if I get, lucky with targeting, then everyone will survive. But, I've got two people kind of, this guy's in the red, this guy is in the yellow. I have death proof. Is it death proof hiding over here? Who cares? But anyway, no, there isn't. So yeah, we kind of just end it here. Also, because I killed one Exalted member, I'm getting assists now. So this is very, very over because a character's going to die almost every turn, basically. Well, I lied. She barely survived. But anyway. Boop. And then, well, the passive killed her there, and then one ultimate, and we're done. So yeah, this fight can definitely get spooky. Do not do full Dread, because that's going to hurt a lot. I like both Breakers, because this is just a can you take the punishment before you kill them check, and Breaker, Silver Surfer Breaker helps with that on top of Scorpion Breaker, because the biggest problem with Dread is that, they heal a lot, but they can still just get like one shot. So this guy could have easily died if he was like 51% and then he gets hit with a big hit. That stuff still sucks. So yeah, I like as much healing as possible. Obviously, if you maybe this can be something like Mephisto or even Super Skrull to just give them more health to eat those hits. But otherwise, safe as long as you don't mess it up in terms of your ISOs and who you're focusing. Like, just don't leave Quasar unchecked. Okay, so stage 4, because Professor X is on defense, I'm going to have to always get creative with what I do against Phoenix Force. Now, if my opponent did not have symbiotes as Professor X, then I would have just exalted this instead. But I can't, so instead I do Thunderstrike, Blastar, Mephisto, Jeff, and Gwen. Now, every character here, with the exception of Jeff, are what I consider the core of this team, and sometimes it's, Jeff will change to be something else. And this is actually pretty efficient, and I want to say safe, especially with new stack characters, because one of these characters has to be next to the Pre-Taunt, which will get hit by Magneto. I don't want it to be any one of these two, or sorry, it can't be any of these three, because if one of these dies, then I get into trouble. So I was kind of saying, like, well, I'll bring Jeff, maybe if he wins the coin flip, he'll get to do his thing. But otherwise he might die. But there's actually something here that I didn't think of that's actually good for me and makes this a lot safer than it might look. So so the reason why Mephisto is here is mostly to make sure this guy can't get revived ever. But this character has revive, so we also want to make sure that that doesn't become a wrinkle. And Black Cat here is pretty fast, but her special is not unavoidable, and it can be dodged, so what happens is we don't care. So that's cool. Sure, there's a little bleed out, but whatever. She's an old stack character, she's not going to do much. Now, Magneto won the coin flip, so he gets the special. And the wrinkle to consider here is that Thunderstrike prevents speed bar fill, but does not prevent speed bar reduction. Which is why you see Jeff kind of go all the way back here, and Gwen, because they've lost their turn. I think it rewinds by 15%. Bum, bum, bum. Where is it? 50%, I think. Oh, 25%. So it's a pretty significant speed bar reduction. So yeah, again, whatever you put here is probably dying, but very least going later. Now, the good news is, though, that because Mephisto gets to go here, he actually gives this character death proofs, so he's never going to die. I thought this guy gave disrupt, actually. Am I tripping? For some reason I thought... Oh, maybe it's because he flips. So flip all positives, bleed, trauma. Okay, yeah, so because I don't have immunity. Yeah, so yeah, the death proofs here guarantee that this guy's actually going to survive to take his turn. Now, Blast Art special here because it does % health damage. And we have a vulnerable there, which is great. Barely doesn't die, but it's okay because Thunderstrike gets to do this. Special is 20% health drain or whatever you want to call it, so they were never going to survive. I didn't want to do the ultimate because I still want to control when Phoenix dies. There's no reason to blast, basically. Now, Phoenix does her ultimate on Mephisto. Sure, okay. But now finally I get to Jeff. He's got his Time Warp going. So we get to do this. Good damage. She got blasted. And then because of her Time Warp, I just pause here. Now I think I still could have done a basic to get Blast Art to get ahead of her and ability block her, but also I didn't need to. So everyone's really healthy. I just paused and waited out. So yeah, this was pretty fun. This worked out a little bit better than expected because I wasn't considering the death proof that Mephisto will give when his pact goes out. So as long as this character next to Gwen survives the initial hit, then they should survive for the next one. So moving on. Now stage 5. So this is where I didn't think of one thing that ended up mattering a lot. So I have not had a cursed on offense for more than 2 seasons, I think, at this point, and I decided to flip, like I said, my defense around a bunch, and I have them on offense now, which is great because they could have one-shot this. Because usually the problem with Mephisto here is that when he goes, he will apply Safeguard, well, he gives Safeguard, Cannonball gives immunity, so then you can't ability block Warlock, and your whole plan goes to shit, because a lot of people like to use Odin Cursed here. So my thinking was, well, Sentry actually gets to go before Mephisto, and Sentry Special puts Trauma ability block out, so he will just take care of Warlock. However, there is one thing I did not consider, or 2, I guess. So one is the boost thing. So actually, let's see. What is your boost? Warlock. So I think, yeah, so this is, so he has 15%, is that resist, I think? Should be. So 204,000 resistance, so they've pumped quite a bit into here, which is a problem for me. Again, a ton of armor, some damage, some health, and again, this is just 5 diamond G21 as thick as they get. So what happens is, Cannonball goes, you know, that's fine. The problem is, though, offense down on Sentry, and if you didn't know, offense down reduces your focus. I think we can see it here. Yeah, so decrease focus by 50%. So that means my guy has 74,000 focus now. And he's fighting against, what was it again? 200 and something thousand? 204,000 resistance on Warlock. So I'm screwed. Because what Sentry's meant to do is, you know, he's going to flip the negative effects on my Cursed, which is great. He's going to reduce duration of positive effects on all enemies by 3. Great, but that can get resist checked. And then he was going to ability block and trauma Warlock. And at that point, I'm done. Like, this fight is over. But because of that offense down, it mostly got resisted. So no trauma here. Now Mephisto goes. Boop, safeguard. I'm screwed. So my only other option is, can I kill this guy before he goes? So with Helverine's turn. But again, this guy is gigantic. Also, the battlefield effect here means that he's got 50% armor, so he's just very thick. So unfortunately, like, I guess, let's see, what is... Yeah, so this is, I think, Sentry's Terror, which I have not invested a ton in. So, so yeah, his stats are not buffed a lot, whereas these guys have a lot of buff stats. I could have made him a Skirmisher, but honestly, I don't know if that would have mattered. So I don't know why his focus is even worse now. Huh. But anyway, maybe Skirmisher would have saved me here. I don't know. Next time I have to do this fight, I will definitely make him a Skirmisher just to try it out. But yeah, here I just go through the normal motions of, well, let me try and kill him. Now, Wolfsbane goes. Decays all my good stuff, takes it away from me. Heals a little bit. Now, Hood goes. Now, unfortunately, the other thing that I was banking on and that I also got unlucky with was I was hoping I would have gotten a vulnerable on Warlock from Raider Sentry, which looks like I didn't get any, or do they get cleansed somehow? So I should have probably made Satana a Raider here to pepper this guy with vulnerables, because then Hood would have had an ISO to hit into. I don't know that it would have mattered, because with the counterattacks, he also what's it called? He just puts himself into stealth, so I can't even focus him anymore either, which I think doesn't matter anyway. But how did he heal to full? Jeez, I didn't even realize that in the attempt because I was so panicked. But yeah, at this point, I just need to kill Mephisto. If I don't kill Mephisto here, I have to cancel this. I can't keep this because I'll come into New Mutants with Mephisto ultimating my face off. So Warlock goes, obliterates my team, and I get a little bit lucky here because someone survived. My Void takes a turn and hits that clump and kills Mephisto. So at this point, I keep it. If Void had not hit Mephisto and he was alive, I'd have to cancel and try this again, and who knows, maybe this would have failed again. So yeah, unfortunate check. I should definitely start pumping focus very soon, apparently, or resist, because that can make problems for my opponent. But yeah, in theory, this attack works. It's just a max team with max diamonds and G21 and boost level being at a pretty healthy spot for, I forget if this is fear or panic. Maybe it's panic. But anyway, yeah, I just got resist checked. Need to pump focus on whatever sentry is. I think it's terror, which is really expensive. And then this could have worked because my sentry would have traumaed them all with ability block on him, and then Helverine would have done a lot of bad things to them. The fact that they kept this immunity is a problem because they would have all been ability blocked otherwise. But anyway, we learned something. Max teams are painful for counters that should work. I could have also tried Accursed Odin, but that one can also go wrong, and especially at that size, I figured I'd better do this, which should have a better chance of working. But anyway, next time, try Skirmisher. So my cleanup, I actually did this one last because I had Odin slotted into 6 originally, but since I lost this, I pulled him out of there to make this doable. So I ended up bringing in 2 Eternals, Odin, Darkstar, and Mummy. The thing I had to consider for this cleanup was the fact that they all had their ultimates still. I died to basically their specials. Now, one miscalculation was I thought that Warlock was going to special me immediately, but I forgot that without Sunspot here, he actually needs 1 more turn to do this. So this clears battlefield effect, and I specialed with Odin instead of swiping, because I figured I was going to lose it right away. So maybe that was a mistake, but also the special is pretty good. Now, I was a little surprised because I expected... I didn't do the ultimate on Icarus because Icarus does a bunch of extra damage when things are blocked. So I figured, he's going to do this, and then since he's got deflex, it would do a bunch more damage, but it didn't really hit as hard as I thought it would. Like, even with exhaust, it didn't really move the meter, so I probably just should have ultimated, but I figured I'd do it after I kill someone to rewind them, but anyway, it's whatever. Now here's where I did the special. It's fine because I still get speed up here, so I get to loop around and I get my charges, but maybe I should have just BFE'd here done the basic to just start swiping them to death. Which probably would have been better, I guess, because she barely survives there and I don't get a reset. Although I guess you could argue that might have happened with the swipe before. So anyway. At this point I'm just hitting them with abilities, even though they're going to be annoying because magic is here. But they're going to beat into Mummy, which is fine. He doesn't really care. He can take a bunch of punishment because he's going to heal it all up. He's got to revive. Here's where I was surprised. I was like, wait, why didn't he special? And then I realized that the 1 energy you get from Sunspot is what lets him special quickly. So, whoops, but it's fine. So going through the motions, and Mummy gets to go, and yeah, I'm not getting assists or anything here because there's still 4 New Mutants alive, so all their stuff is in effect. Now here I do the basic, which is still helpful. Then I now do the Icarus ultimate, which does good damage, but they all have safeguards, so I'm not flipping anything and I'm not rewinding them, but whatever. Then I do this. He resisted the stun here too, which is funny. Like, this guy has Exhausted. She's a G21 offense up Cersei, and he's still... what is her focus? I'm actually really curious now. I'm really just really surprised that that stun was resisted, because hey, look at this, 300,000 focus. What do you got? What are you at now? Cannonball. Wow, he still has so much focus. Okay, why? Does he have something in his passive that gives him a lot of focus? Armor, deflect. Oh, I guess he has 25% resistance because... yeah, okay, so I guess that's it. That's kind of propping him back up. Interesting. Anyway, it's fine. It's just annoying here because all these death proofs and dodges and heals just make this fight last a while. But this was fairly safe otherwise. At this point it's over. 2 people just died. Now I get speed bar, now I get assists. But they've also run out of abilities, so that's fine. So yeah, this one I was hoping to one-shot, but like we said, the Sentry focus problem is something that I did not consider, so if that cost me the fight, then, you know, at least I know next time that I should always make him a skirmisher. I'm still not convinced that would fully solve the problem, but it would at least give me a better chance. So we'll see if we try that again. Let's move on to the final room. And finally, stage 6. I actually got extremely lucky here. And you'll see why. There's one thing I did not consider that I will definitely consider next time doing similar stuff. But yeah, the whole concept here was, you know, they're stopping speed bar, speed stat, there's anti-Emma here, although I don't even have Emma anyway, but speed up is the one thing they don't stop, and Fury takes care of that, so that makes sure that these 4 get to go before most of them. So, and this looks worse than it was because of it being in room 6. So, look at my Fury here. He barely did not die. If he had died, I lose this instantly. And because how much health does he have? Dude, I got extremely lucky here. So, I got screwed with RNG in 5, but I got lucky here, so I guess we take it. Here's what happened. Because I made him a fortifier, even though he's never really going to survive anything, Howard, when someone has barrier, pings them on his turn. If the character has barrier, attack that enemy for 200% piercing. So, I guess, I mean, this is also a gigantic Howard. But yes, if he had hit just a little bit harder, he dies, I can't spread, speed up. I'm cooked, because you can see Howard's going to go here, then Gilgamesh, then Blue Marvel. There's no way I'm surviving this. Oh, and the other thing to consider here is the reason why Quasar is here is because I knew, and thanks Jero for doing some math to call this out, I'm still not going faster than Howard, so Quasar is here to just make sure I don't get ability blocked. So yeah, this would have been fine if he just needed to not be a fortifier. Basically, if he wasn't a fortifier, then this is not a problem. But because he was, this guy blasted him. So just something to consider. I actually should just go immediately change him off a fortifier for next time, so I don't forget. But anyway, I then spread speed up and a bunch of other stuff, but the speed up is what matters. And then my focus is I just need to kill this guy, and everyone else is just going to die around them. So we're still set up for a striker skirmisher combo. So do some decent damage here. Now Howard gets to go. So you see that would have been ability blocks, and that would have been a problem. Now then Invisible Woman goes, hits like a brick, kind of almost kills everyone, but Blue Marvel's done, so we're good. And you can see most of the damage I'm taking is just from the room roll. So this is fairly safe, other than me being an idiot here. And then I do Quasar Special into Executioner, because he's the only one I'm worried about. And finally Human Torch plus the little ping from Invisible Woman just ends it. So this is definitely tricky. There's a slightly trickier version of this that would prevent me from doing this, that I'm not going to talk about. But anyway, yeah, this was all the attacks. Could have dropped here, because I got lucky with the damage. 5 got resist checked, so until boost system catches up, or skirmisher on Sentry may have helped there. But these are all, again, just monster teams, so you're bound to run into some scaling issues somewhere. So yeah, I mean, my opponent is very turtled up. Like, let's see, let's think through this together, because this is already a long video, so why not? So, Immortal Weapon, whatever, but Annihilus on defense, Symbiote 6, and Professor X on defense, Exalted on defense, Quasar 2, because he's useful fairly often, Phoenix Force on defense, Mephisto on defense, New Mutants on defense, Blue Marvel, yes, Starjammers are gone because of this, and he doesn't have anything to help with speed stat if he needs it, so what do they have? They have Daring Warriors, they have Accursed, they have Fantastic Four, they have Odin. Yeah, I mean, I think I have a shot at this. But me dropping 2 here and 1 here and 1 here makes this kind of iffy. But hopefully, my opponent will struggle, and we'll see if this was a good punch up or not. So let's find out. Here's the result.
Looks like we managed to get the win, so that's a 1-0 for this week. That was my #1 fan. So yeah, we'll see if we can keep this going. So see you tomorrow for the next one.